Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Talking about Jaden Daniels' pettiness with regard to LSU issuing his number 5 to a defensive back. I don't know that I think old-timers know this. I don't know that this is just walking around knowledge. But Texas Tech has actually officially retired 3 numbers, Jamie.
Okay.
Those numbers are 44 for Donnie Anderson, 55 for E.J. Holub, and 81 for Dave Parks. Hollub's was retired. He played from 58 to 60. His number was retired, according to this information, on December 19th, 1960. And Donnie Anderson's was retired on November 11th, 1995. It used to be when you went into the stadium in the south end zone, the old south end zone, there were two big squares. So when I first came to Lubbock, those 2 big squares, one of them had number 55 on it, and that was for the retired number for E.J. Holub. And then in 95, they put up one for Donnie Anderson on the opposite side. This is kind of straddling the Double T scoreboard. There in the south end zone, kind of along the wall, the number 44. And then after a few years, they took those numbers down. I don't know what year, and they put commercial signs up there, advertising signs up there. I mean, this is before, man, a whole lot of signage was there in the stadium. So I thought that was interesting. And then Dave Parks' number 81. Of course, he was a number 1 overall draft pick. He's the only one so far that is a number 1 NFL draft pick overall. His was retired on November 17th, 2001. I don't know this officially, but I think they've kind of decided moving forward that they're not retiring numbers, because obviously there's been a lot of great players that have come along, because all those guys played in the 60s. Donnie Anderson 63 to 65, EJ from 58 to 60, and Dave Parks from 61 to 63. So we're talking 60 plus years now. And you've obviously had great players that have come and gone, and a lot of those great players are now on the stadium there in the Ring of Honor on the west side. Mm-hmm. So I think that's kind of how they've chosen to do that now, kind of moving forward. So anyway, I found that I find this whole thing interesting, and the retiring of numbers and stuff like that makes it kind of wonky. I think from a basketball standpoint, I don't know that they've formally retired numbers, but there have been numbers that aren't used. I'm sure that's that way for baseball as well. That's kind of common how it does. It's like we're not retiring it, but man, you got to be really, really special. According to this, there's 4 numbers that have been retired for Texas Tech baseball. Number 22 for Brooks Wallace, who was honored posthumously after he died from leukemia in 1985. Clinton Bryant, who was Texas Tech's first-team All-American multi-year and a 2-time Southwest Conference MVP. Terrific player. His number 23, Brooks's was number 22. And then 2 coaches had their numbers retired. Cal Segrest at number 24 and Larry Hayes at number 27. Hard to argue with any of those. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how that has worked. But I don't think you'd get letters from people like Jaden Daniels. I mean, it's just, you think you've seen it all, and then you see something like that, right? You think the selfishness and the pettiness and things that go with that.
I mean, if we heard of something like this from LeBron back to the Lakers, it wouldn't surprise us, right?
No.
But Jaden Daniels seemed like a different guy.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man.
The fact that, dude, you played there 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
1 year.
Yeah.
It was a great year. You were really good, no question.
Mm-hmm.
1 year.
Right. On the men's side, it says this for men's basketball: does not officially retire jersey numbers for its men's basketball program, instead honoring exceptional programs through the Ring of Honor. The Lady Raiders have retired 3 numbers officially. I don't know if any will be retired moving forward. I think you'd have to do something really, really special like these 3 did. Number 21, Krista Gerlich's number has been retired. Number 22 for Cheryl Swoops, goes without saying. And number 44, Carolyn Thompson. She played from 1980 to 84. Those are the only 3 on the women's basketball side that have been retired.
And maybe if Daniels had if they had won the national championship, well, he also led them by winning the Heisman, you might be able to, I don't know, push me a little bit more into that camp.
But to bring it up and send a letter and a cease and desist and make a federal case out of it.
Cut your ties with the university. It's just, and that's crazy.
And like you said, he played 1 year. He played 3 years at Arizona State. Is he going to send them the same letter? I doubt it.
Don't know.
I doubt it. But, man, it just seems crazy. Let's see. If everyone didn't want someone to wear their jersey number, we'd run out of numbers. Daniels looks like a jackwagon here. That from Bullfighter. Yeah, I think I agree. Sounds like his mom's doing. Kid can't even have a girlfriend without his mom getting involved. The almighty dollar will show a person's true colors. Boy, there's truth in that, right? There's truth in that. Rick Ralph says this: what the heck is wrong with these kids? Like he has the quote rights to that jersey number or number. LOL. Move on, Jaden. What a joke.
Well, Ralph, it's like I always like to say, most times that a kid is off, is just way out there with stuff. We have to kind of turn and look at ourselves and say, somebody raised him. And I bet you they're a big, big factor in how he acts. Yep. It's the same thing I say when my kids act fools. Like, probably some of that's on me. Yep.
I wonder if Jaden Daniels' mom or dad is going, "That's my boy." Good God. Oh. 6:40 this morning. Jeff has this day in sports history. We'll have Ranger baseball on the air for you tonight. They'll try to even up the series. They're down 2-1 to the Halos. We'll have it at 8:30 tonight. Molson strikes at about 9. And then they move on to Sacramento to take on the Athletics over the weekend.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3. Presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Thursday, August the 13th, 2026. Here's Jeff McGuire with this day in sports history.
Jamie, I got something I think you're going to like here.
Okay.
1932. Yankees pitcher Red Ruffing becomes the first Major League pitcher since 1906 to hit an extra inning game-winning home run in a New York 1-0 win over the Senators in Washington.
Okay.
Extra innings, and they didn't pinch hit for the guy.
Pitchers who rake.
I'll stay off the soapbox, but it was always fun for me to see a pitcher who could help himself out. It was fun.
Because they were the exception and not the rule, unfortunately.
Because you didn't expect him to, right? A guy who got a base hit or a guy who got a home run or even a guy who got a sack bunt down to help his team move a guy into scoring position. There's so many people out there that say, oh, yeah, that's, wouldn't you rather have some big guy up there hitting the home runs, and that's way more exciting. If you just 1 for 1, yes. Yes, but it's I don't know, when it was like every pitcher at the plate was an underdog, and there was fun in that, and you saw that, hey, that pitcher's a good athlete, and that kind of stuff. And now they're all going to bat ninth, right? What's your 9-hitter hitting now?
Yeah,
I mean, you got leadoff guys hitting 225. So what's how many 9-hitters in Major League Baseball right now are hitting below 200?
Oh boy!
Back in the day, the pitchers could do that. You know, I mean, you had Smoltz and guys like that were good hitters that were hitting 200. I mean, we've taken the athletes out of the sport and just said be big guys who can crush the ball and hit it a long, long way. And meanwhile, sit there for an hour and a half waiting for one of those things to happen between plays and then just be bored until somebody hits one out of the park. I do not like the product on the field right now.
Madison Bumgarner, 19,
great hitter.
19 career home runs.
Great hitter.
A guy from the 60s, Wes Farrell, he played for the Dodgers.
I mean, we all love the underdog. You had one batting ninth every game in the National League back in the day.
Wes Farrell had 38 career home runs. That's crazy. Okay.
All right, sorry. I didn't do very well of staying off of my soapbox.
It's okay.
It's all right. You climbed on it. It's so good.
1969, Baltimore Orioles Jim Palmer no hits the Oakland A's 8-0. 1997, San Diego Padres trade outfielder Ricky Henderson to the Anaheim Angels. And I had forgotten that he was traded to the Angels.
Me too, right?
He played with a lot of teams at the end of his career.
You know why he played for a lot of teams at the end of his career? He could still steal bases.
That's right.
2011, former Red Raider Josh Tomlin goes 6 1/3, giving up 1 run on 4 hits, while walking 1 in a 3-1 Cleveland's win in Minnesota. And in 2016, American swimmer Michael Phelps ends his career at the Rio Olympics as part of winning the 4x100 medley relay. His record 23rd gold medal.
Unbelievable. That's just...
It is National Filet Mignon Day.
I just that's a steak that I'm never going to order or cook or make or anything. It's just there's just not enough meat. I know it's the best. It's good meat and all that. I'm just not a big filet fan at all. Are you, Jeff?
It's tasty.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not quite the every steak tastes the same because it depends on how you cook it.
Sure.
It is a phenomenal cut of meat. I work in radio, so I can't afford a phenomenal cut of meat. Dallas Braden, former Red Raider pitcher and perfect game thrower on Mother's Day, 43 today. Sebastian Stan, 45, and DeMarcus Cousins is 36. And on this day, 1961, East German soldiers begin laying down barbed wire and bricks as a barrier between Soviet-controlled East Berlin and the democratically western section of the city. This would be later replaced with concrete and armed guards. Of course, I'm talking about the beginning of the construction of the Berlin Wall.
Okay.
And that is this day in sports history.
East Germany, West Germany. You had all that kind of stuff going on. Somebody has a question for you. I think they're just trying to get at you a little bit. They want to know if you're enjoying watching the Red Sox right now since they have been playing traditional small ball.
Their style of play, I think, is factoring into them, really playing good ball right now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they have some guys that can hit the ball of the park, but really they are playing a lot of small ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they've cooled on their hot streak a little bit, but yeah. I mean, I'm obviously not enjoying the Red Sox winning because I'm a Yankees fan, but the style of play, I'll take it. And again, it's working. It's working.
I mean, it's kind of how it used to be, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, but your point is correct with regard to the the number 9 hole hitter. I mean, if he's going to hit $130, then why don't you just let the hitter hit?
The pitcher, you mean?
Yeah, the pitcher hit. Yeah, I'm sorry, the pitcher hit.
We'll also let the pitcher pitch too.
Let the pitcher pitch, right? And the hitter hit. And generally speaking, I have been a designated hitter fan. I am a fan of the designated hitter. So kind of speaks oppo to what you're saying. I get what you're saying. There is a lot to be said. I still vividly remember, and I don't know if history I don't know if what my remembering. Sometimes what you remember is not exactly what happened. Okay, but I vividly remember going to a Royals game, and they walked a guy to pitch to the pitcher, a guy named Dick Drago. And Dick Drago hit a bases loaded triple. So
I bet it was really fun.
It was fun, right? Because it was that deal of, hey, we don't think you can hit, so we're going to walk this guy to set up a force, right? Mm-hmm. And then he just,
or walk that guy to avoid pitching to a better hitter, really.
Yeah, I don't know how many outs there were in the inning, but I mean, they wanted to set up a double play or a force at home, something like that. But clearly, right, they walked that guy because I had the pitchers coming up, so he can't hit, right? But he showed him. Let's see.
And then we had guys like, Steve Balboni, and I don't know, guys that just you knew weren't athletes. They were just big dudes,
Mm-hmm. He was a strike 'em out, hit 'em out guy, no question.
Yeah. And I mean, just a boring style of baseball. Every once in a while when they connected, yes, it was fun to watch it go 500 feet, but it was every once in a while. Yeah.
6:54 this morning here on the morning drive. Somebody says this: pitchers don't hit in college or very rarely hit. Why should they in Major League Baseball? Well, that's not really the point. The point is
I mean, it's accurate. They don't at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't at all.
But, it's not saying that they shouldn't.
I guarantee you they would love to.
Yeah, I'm sure they would, right? I mean.
Well, what about Jesse Rusnick?
Right.
Jesse Rusnick hits.
Sure he did. What about Shohei Ohtani? He's pretty good.
Guys, what about Kurt Wilson?
Right.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Famously went to a Red Raider baseball Tim Tallock and put a question in the hopper. When are you going to let Kurt Wilson hit?
Glad he did.
I'm sure Coach Tadlock is glad he did too, right?
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. We'll have Ranger Baseball on the air for you tonight. 8:30, the broadcast time. First pitch around 9. Rangers lost to the Angels last night 5-2. So they're now a game and a half behind Houston in the American League West. Just the way it is. Just the way it is. If you would like to see Centex Hank's dog, he has posted a picture of his dog on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Okay.
Oh, very cool.
Okay, so there you go. So if you want,
tell him we said good morning.
If you want to
scratch behind the ears for you.
Oh, scratch behind the ears. Okay. If you want to post a picture of yours as well, you certainly can. Go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app. It's presented by Happy State Bank, and the Yates Flooring Center chat line is right there for you. I posed that question to you with regard to your biggest concern. CBS Sports did an article that listed each team's concern that's in the top 25, and then also kind of looked at what's to be optimistic about, and this again will come as no surprise to you. They listed the Tech quarterback situation and the depth behind Will Hammond, because if we heard one thing more than anything during Texas Tech's media day, it was the depth of the roster, right? And I mean, just when you're looking at what's and you heard defensive coordinator Sheil Wood talk about there's not much drop off when we go to the backups. In a lot of our positions, it's basically the same level. We're going to be able to play at a pretty high level, and we're going to be able to strain as much as we want and give maximum effort because we don't necessarily have to conserve because we've got these guys behind us. And then you look at your running back room, and that's where they list Texas Tech, where the optimism is. They say this in the headline, Jamie: rushing attack is Big 12's best. And that's not anything that we're surprised by, right? With Cam Dickey, Jacoby Williams, and Quentin Joyner joining the mix this year after being out last year with a torn ACL. So the last line is this, is with uncertainty at quarterback beyond Hammond, leaning on this group makes sense. Texas Tech spent lavishly. Why do they always have to throw in that adjective? I mean, it's true. It's true. It just feels, and maybe we're all just sensitive to it because it just doesn't feel like they do that with everybody else.
I do think we're sensitive to it. I do think that they don't always do it with everybody else.
Yeah, so it's kind of.
But it's accurate.
It's accurate, right? To construct a contender, yet its greatest offensive luxury was already on the roster, that being the running back room. I wonder, and he wasn't asked this the other night, and I don't know if it was the right place to ask because he's not going to be able to comment until he's under your wraps. Because Coach McGuire did address it at the Tech Media Day with regard to adding any of these guys that could become eligible with a fifth year. But I do wonder if you're still kind of going down the road of trying to add a guy like Thomas Castellano from Florida State.
I would think that that's a possibility, yes. I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right. I just wonder at what point in time have you passed the point of no return? Because here you are, you're into your second week of practice.
Let's say you get him later than you really want. You want him here immediately, but let's say you get him later than what you really want. Mm-hmm. What's it going to hurt?
Probably nothing.
So I don't think there's ever a point past the point of no return.
Yeah. Okay. Until you get to a point where you can't.
I don't think 6 games into the season you're like, hey, let's bring this guy in now.
Make a roster move here.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I don't think if he comes in and like, oh man, the guy can't learn our offense. So be it, right? Mm-hmm. He's not going to play. He doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think there's any past the point of return, really.
Okay, unless there's a deadline for getting him on campus because of school.
School? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's that. So it sounds like, and then didn't you tell us that's 2 weeks into the season?
Well, a couple weeks into the season.
Okay,
yeah, I think
so there you go. 2 weeks into the season.
I don't know the exact drop dead date.
That's the date, Chuck. I would like him to go to school if he's going to play for us.
Yeah, that's
I'd like for him to be enrolled in classes of some sort.
It's part of the. Mm-hmm. That's part of how this works, right?
I used to know that. I don't know what if I know that now. I'm not really sure, and I really don't have enough interest to find out.
Okay.
They tell us there are guys and they're Red Raider students, and I believe them. I believe them. I
believe that they're. I'm not falling around going to class, all that kind of stuff. But I'm assuming that that enrolled and actively participating and all those kinds of things. I think that's important to them. To get them going. School hasn't started yet, but it will. It will be fast approaching. For the colleges. Mm-hmm. They'll be in school by the time we play the first game, September the 5th.
Yeah, and for a lot of those football players, they never really got out of school because they just keep going throughout the course of the summer.
Right, because they had summer 1, summer 2, had just a little bit of a break. But you can kind of get a lot of meat off the bone, so to speak. It takes the load off of you going into the fall. I'm sure there's some minimums of what they have to have and things like that. And there's probably a bunch of them over there that are playing sports that, like, for the most part, you're not going to have just a ton of guys that are going to go play professionally, whether it's basketball or baseball or football. And the point is that the point for that should be all these guys should take a look at this press release that Tech put out yesterday with players that are in the NFL right now in camp. Just think about this right now, and I think this is a high number. I don't have it over the years, but it feels like that this is a high number. 24 is the number of Red Raiders.
Feel high.
And then when I'm looking at this number and looking at the players involved, I'm like, man, I can see these guys like Jordan Brooks obviously is going to be on the Miami Dolphins. He's been there a number of years. He's just signed a new deal. Jacob Rodriguez was obviously, a high draft pick for him. He's going to be on the team. But, you read reports that Caleb Douglas is on the depth chart in the number one spot and at his position.
Yeah, and he was a third-round pick, right? Yeah, so he's going to make a team.
Yeah, Caleb, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Baron Morton will make the Patriots, but I'll bet he's on the practice squad.
Maybe.
Okay.
I would guess a long shot to make the team.
Yeah, but then with the Jets, feel like Austin McNamara, and clearly, he's the number 2 pick overall, David Bailey. He's going to be on the team.
Yeah, I think Austin had a good year last year.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. Probably got plenty of time on the field.
Broderick Washington is in his 7th year. He's with the Ravens.
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Quiet little NFL career.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Taj Brooks with the Bengals and Braylon Lux. I don't know if Braylon Lux will make the Bengals, but who knows? Maybe he'll show out on special teams and find a way on the roster.
Maybe so.
And then Josh Kelly's with the Texans. Obviously, Mahomes is with the Chiefs. Caleb Rogers is with the Raiders. He was a big draft pick for him, and he's in his 2nd year. Terrence Steele's in his 7th. A guy that has surprised me that he's still on a roster, and he's just kind of found a way. He's been injured. He got dinged up with the Dolphins. But Eric Izukama is on the Eagles roster.
Why are you surprised? He was a great player for us.
No, but just because he's been injured and he just hasn't been able to kind of stick in the regular year. But yeah, he was a great player, no question.
I'm surprised he hasn't made a bigger impact in the NFL. Not that I thought he was going to be a superstar. I thought he would be a good receiver, though.
Cole Wisniewski, he's on the Eagles roster. My point is, when I look at these names, I'll go, man, there's a lot of guys that are going to be on NFL rosters. And we still, they didn't tell you about Romello Height with the 49ers, Dadrian Taylor Demerson, and then Reggie Virgil with the Cardinals. Both of them are going to probably stick. Tyree Wilson, who was a top 10 pick for the Raiders, is now with the Saints. So you're going to see a lot of guys that played football here, 1, 2, 3, some even 4 years, playing in the NFL this coming season.
And that's not cool. Even counting guys like Tyler Shuck and Baker Mayfield.
As we shouldn't.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3 is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
All right, gentlemen, 2-parter today. Tell me what area you think the Texas Tech football team will be better than this year, and tell me what area you think they'll be worse than they were a year ago this season.
Better than. Oh, man. Better than. Well, there's a part of me that thinks, but the numbers, when I look at the numbers, it doesn't really feel like that I'm going to be able to sustain this. I feel that you'll be better throwing the ball downfield than you were last year. You averaged 8 yards per catch last year. You had 319 completions by your quarterbacks last year with 10 interceptions. So I feel like that you'll be better at getting the ball to the various receivers that you have. I just think you've got more weapons, and I think you've got a quarterback that's got more zip on the ball. Okay?
Okay.
I feel like, and I hope I'm wrong on this, I feel like that you won't have the number of sacks that you had a year ago. And that's really not saying that much, because you had 41 sacks last year. So, if you got to 35 or 36, you'd still be happy. I just don't feel like that you're going to be able to sack the quarterback as much as you did a year ago.
Okay.
Red zone efficiency is where I think you will be better this year.
Yeah.
I think you've got a little bit more balanced of from some firepower on the offensive side of the ball in that regard. And assuming you've got 3 healthy running backs and Terrence Carter Jr. healthy, that you should be able to succeed in the red zone and short yardage type of situations. there's absolutely no way you will be as good as you were on defense last year. And that's points per game, yards per game, number of snaps. The numbers you put up last year were insane and should be thought about as a magical season that it was on defense. You will still be good. You will not achieve those. You will not hold people that low in scoring again. It's just nuts.
Okay, I think you'll be worse at takeaways.
Okay.
I don't think you'll have as many takeaways as you had last year.
You had 31, I think.
Jacob Rodriguez was just such a ball hawk, and your two rush ends getting to the quarterback as quick as they did. I mean, we're just amazing in that regard. So I'm going to say you're going to be worse in takeaways, and I think you will be better along the offensive line this season than you were a season ago. A lot of returners. Chemistry continues to get better. Added to the mix. I think you're going to be better up front.
Is that something that you're not really putting a stat on that you'll measure? It's more of an eyeball test, right? Gut feel kind of, it looks like we're better.
Yeah, I think it'll factor in a lot of different things. I mean, you look at the run game, but also red zone efficiency, where I think having a really good offensive line is a major key in that.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to run the ball when you get inside the 20.
Yeah. To Jeff's point, last year on your red zone scores, you were 86%. However, to Jeff's point, red zone touchdowns, you were 55%. So that's where you think there's going to be marked improvement, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then with regard to points per game, what's crazy is your opponents last year scored the most points in the fourth quarter, but that's when you weren't playing your ones and twos because you were so far ahead in some games. The point is, first quarter, you allowed 23 points, 39 in the second, 28 in the third, and 75 points in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
And I think, to your point on the turnovers, where you really excelled was not only did you create turnovers, but you got points off those turnovers to the tune of 114. 114 of your 552 points came off of turnovers. I don't know what a good percentage is, but I'll just say this. Your opponents only got 34, and they only scored 165 points all season long. So that's pretty impressive. And I think you're right about the punch outs, because Jacob Rodriguez did such a great job of that. But they talked about that the other night at football. One of the defensive guys was asked about, hey, are you working on your punch out? He's like, yeah, every day I'm working on punch out, and then cited Jacob Rodriguez. Last year, your opponents lost the ball 15 times. Texas Tech fumbled the ball away 8 times. So, like you said, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. So, if you have a thought, comment, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to doublet973.com for that, or the mobile app. Visual Edge IT hotline too. It's open as well. Somebody says this: better at red zone conversion, which is what Jeff said. Worse, less shutouts. Okay.
How many did we end up having last year?
Shutouts? You had 1, 2.
Oklahoma State, and who else?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
149-0.
Gosh.
I know.
I don't know why I forget that game so much.
Beat Okie State 42-0. Beat Arkansas Pine Bluff 67-7.
Yeah, you would have had more shutouts if you played your first team defense for entire games.
Beat BYU in the Big 12 championship game 34-7. I think that was a late touchdown. Oh, maybe not. No. Was the opening drive?
Yeah, I think it was early.
Yeah. And then beat BYU 29-7 here in Lubbock.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Double T 97.3 presents The Morning Drive Power Hour. The Power Hour is presented by Service Compression. Committed to service, advanced technology, and field-proven compression expertise in the oil field. See them at servicecompression.com.
8:02 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Good morning with Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz. We come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline. It's open as well as we kind of get you ready for football season and all those kinds of things. There's a lot that's out there. There's a lot that's been decided. I think now we're just kind of in that preparation time, everybody's trying to kind of get whatever their little role is for football. Maybe it's your business or your family or your tailgate or all those kinds of things. It's the putting everything back together time. Coach McGuire's got his team put back together. They're out on the field. They're doing their drills and they're running their stuff. And so and you got folks around town that are like, okay, who's got the first tailgate? Who's got the second tailgate? Who's got the third tailgate?
Okay.
What's the menu going to be like?
That's fun.
What does Thanksgiving look like for you? What's a potential road game look like for you?
I'm sensing you're going to be very intrigued by the Thanksgiving Day game food options for tailgating.
Oh yeah. I was listening to Rob Rowe, and I don't know if he was on with Clint or if he was on with somebody else. They were talking about the tailgate food, and I was thinking, boy, Rob would have really enjoyed the Golden Spatula competition back in the day. With the tailgaters bringing us food to Optimum Game Day Live there in front of the Fraser Alumni Pavilion.
Yeah, I think anybody likes free food.
Judging it, and, all those kinds of things, having a sample of everything. So
I think Rob would enjoy free food.
Yeah, Clint. I mean, all of us, we all enjoy that. But I'm just I think just the aspect of it, of seeing the various delicacies and things that are put together.
Why did you stop?
Well, I mean, part of it was consistency of when we were on, and I think people were kind of getting.
Oh, so it's my fault, Jeff.
No. I think the other thing too was just it had run its course, and some of the tailgaters gotten in a different spot than what they were previously, and not being as close to us, and having to bring it over to us and things like that. I think sometimes people got tired of the same guys winning because the same guys had to, we had to tell the prime rib guys you can't bring us prime rib anymore because they're just too doggone good because you're going to win every time. And there were some ribs from time to time and other things from time to time. And then the other thing too is I started eating healthier, and I couldn't eat all that they were bringing, and I didn't want to because I didn't want to, and then started packing it on the weight again, and I'm trying to take it off. So struggle's real, Jamie. Struggle.
Sounds like it. You could have what would have been a better idea to try to alleviate some of those issues.
Yeah.
Okay. And you'd have made lots of friends here at the radio station.
Always include more people.
Well, yeah. Let the part-time workers be the judges. Let the people who are really over there working, not just the
talkers.
Yeah. Let those guys be the judge.
Sure.
Mix it up between them or something.
Yeah.
And then you'd get different taste buds judging different guys, right? And plus you'd make all those those college kids that they could use a free meal, and then you wouldn't have to eat it all.
Okay. Somebody says bring it back.
Yeah.
Golden Spatula. Well,
Yeah.
maybe I'll have to get with, and with Rob and Clint's,
Probably looks like it's my fault because
No,
it was him and you and Dickens, right?
Yeah, Dickens and I did it
Yeah,
together.
so when he switched to doing the show with me, that's when it stopped.
Yeah, well,
I didn't make that decision.
yeah. I mean, like I said, sometimes things run its course, but then you can have a throwback. Who knows? May have a throwback game.
There you go.
Maybe the Houston game will be a throwback. Hey, throwback, bringing back the Golden Spatula.
All right.
Get it sponsored, then we can do anything, man.
Oh, you can do it without the sponsorship.
No, gotta have somebody that's bringing it to us. All right. So thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Is there? If I could send you to any road game this year, on the company plane, so to speak, which one would you want to go to more than any of them? And it could be for whatever reason that you want. Could be that you've never been to that stadium before. It could be they got good mountains nearby and you could hike. It could be just the atmosphere. It could be a city you've been to before and I really have to go back there.
Your college football playoff game.
National championship game, Jeff. Not just a playoff game.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a good question. There are a lot of different answers there. I think there are some that would be intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
That I have different reasons for wanting to go to. I'll say Colorado.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
I've never been to that stadium before.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Never been on that campus before.
Mm-hmm.
Since they don't play baseball.
Okay.
So
Folsom Field. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in Boulder.
So
Okay.
Colorado.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I've been to Baylor. I've been to Oklahoma State. I've been to Colorado to see a game there. That was a terrible game. I'll just say this. A lot of times when you say, running out of the tunnel, they looked really good. Running out of the tunnel, we looked really bad. Really bad. That was like that 2006 Colorado game. We looked lethargic. I think I even said that. We came out of the tunnel like, oh man, we look lethargic. And
Have you ever said that and it been wrong?
Oh, well, it wasn't that day.
I'm just wondering how many times you said it before you think you finally got it right.
I don't know. But very.
I can't ever say that I've seen our team run out of the tunnel behind the horse and thought we look lethargic today.
No, we did. We looked awful coming out of that. We looked disinterested, and we played like it. We played disinterested.
What was is the jog slower?
It was just
the look on their face,
body language. There was no pep in the step. There was nothing. It looked like we were fat and happy. Is what it looked like.
What were we fat and happy about?
I don't know, because it just looked like all of them. Just
This sounds like one of those conversations with. We need Coach Knight in here right now. When
Game face.
Yeah. This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.